Wow, Air Force One malfunctioned while in the air with Donald Trump aboard it on the way to Davos. Bad karma, Donald. Donald Trump is heading to the World Economic Forum where nobody wants him there, and where yesterday all of the world leaders spoke out against the Trump regime's despicable behavior. As Donald Trump was heading to Davos, the White House claimed it was, quote, minor electrical issues that were plaguing Air Force One while it was in the air. Air Force One had to turn around. It returned to Joint Base Andrews, and they had to get on a different plane. Trump and his regime and others in the press heard Trump and his regime joke about, you see, we need the Qatari jet. We'd be so much better with the Qatari jet. But interestingly, as Ed O'Keefe reports, the White House press pool reports that Donald Trump boarded the new jet, but reporters didn't actually witness him getting off the old plane and aboard the new one. But anyway, they got into the new plane, and now they're going to be late to Davos because apparently Air Force One had these electrical issues while in the air. A prize idiot. That is the front page of many a UK paper, specifically the Metro. A prize idiot. Look at Donald Trump on this UK newspaper right here. The first thing on the front page it says is land grab row shakes NATO alliance. It shows the protests in Nuuk and Denmark. And then it also shows the Norway Prime Minister saying the Nobel has nothing to do with me. I don't have anything to do with the Nobel Award. I've told Donald Trump repeatedly. Why does he keep thinking that Norway has some power over the Nobel Peace Prize? It's an independent committee. Then it also says Trump, seeing as Norway snubbed me for the Peace Award, I want Greenland for the United States instead. We covered Donald Trump's disastrous press conference yesterday to mark 1 year while in office. Just look at what he looks like. Look how sickly and bizarre he looks. Look at Caroline Levitt right there. You see her sitting there? Caroline Levitt was looking at Donald Trump like terrified of just his cognitive and physical decline. I'm going to do a whole other video on this. Now, Caroline Levitt's predecessor is somebody by the name of Stephanie Grisham. And Stephanie Grisham was Donald Trump's former press secretary. And here's what she posted during and right after Donald Trump's bizarre press conference that he held yesterday. She writes, "This presser is bizarre even for him. It's all the usual rambling, off-topic tales, half-truth lies. I fixed everything. No one has ever seen anything like it stuff. But it's low energy and feels like he's mentally slipping. Congress, please wake up. Please. Hashtag Emperor has no clothes." That's Donald Trump's former press secretary. Let me just repeat that. Donald Trump's former press secretary saying, Congress, can you please get involved and invoke the 25th Amendment? Y'all saw this press conference. I covered it yesterday, so I'm not going to just do it all over again. I'll just show a short portion of it. You have Donald Trump saying he prefers when towns have military people in it because it makes the towns look better to him when there's military in towns. As Mike Rothschild says, we've come a long way from don't tread on me. Here, play this clip.
They were picking up garbage and everything. They were great. And I don't know, to me, a town, it looks better when you have military people. These are big, strong guys, are bad guys. Look at them and they say, we're not going to mess around.
And then Donald Trump was whining about the Nobel Prize and saying that Norway snubbed him, so now he needs to invade Greenland. Here, play this clip.
Time we ended, they were hugging each other, and it's been a great peace, you know? Should have gotten the Nobel Prize for each war, but I don't say that. I say millions and millions of people. And don't let anyone tell you that Norway doesn't control the shots, okay? It's in Norway. Norway controls the shots. They'll say, we have nothing to do with it. It's a joke. They've lost such prestige.
And then he kept on holding up this large paperclip thing. And he kept on saying, I'm glad my finger wasn't in that sucker. That would have been bad if my finger was in that sucker. Here, play this clip.
The book on accomplishments. And this is something, oh, I'm glad my finger wasn't in that sucker. They could have done some damage, but you know what? I wouldn't have shown the pain. I would have gone back. What, did you hear that? That was nasty. But I would not have shown the pain. I would have acted like nothing happened as my finger fell off. That was a nasty. I think somebody did that. I think it was him. It was my man. How were you? You didn't do it. I know you did. I know you didn't. So.
Now, all the while Donald Trump is talking about invading Greenland, and what did he say? That we're going to buy it for $700 billion. Well played, Donald, in threatening to acquire Greenland and pay him $700 billion, which they don't want. By the way, while you rip away health care from Americans, while things are less affordable here, while people can't afford homes, yesterday the stock market wiped away $1.2 trillion in value as Donald Trump threatened and attacked all of our allies while you have this World Economic Forum taking place in Davos, right? I mean, you have Prime Minister Carney of Canada developing war plans described as a Mujahideen style insurgency in the event Donald Trump invades Canada, amongst other war plans. You have Greenland and Denmark preparing war plans in the event Donald Trump invades there. You have all of Europe denouncing and speaking out Donald Trump. You have every American stock plummeting yesterday. You know, it was just a bloodbath. You have the Dow was down nearly 2%, S&P down over 2%, NASDAQ down nearly 2.5% yesterday as well. And then before Donald Trump got on Air Force One and before it malfunctioned, he gave this deranged interview with News Nation, where again, he talks about how he loves to see the military in DC because it makes cities look better when you invade with military. Play this clip.
This is beautiful. And you have good-looking, solid military people walking around. It's actually, I think it's almost like an enhancement. Everybody feels safe.
Then he goes on to talk about how he was hunted and now he's the hunter. And that's how he sees his role as the president, to be the hunter. You just give Americans health care, help Americans get a good education. If people are working a job, let them be paid with dignity. Let's protect our vulnerable populations. Let's make housing affordable. What is this? You're the hunter? What are we even saying here? Here, play this clip.
But the fake news, the fake politicians, everything, Russia, the hoax of the century, all of the different things. And in a way, I was the hunted. And now I'm more of the hunter, I must tell you. And these are bad people. These are sick people. I don't know, something wrong with them. But this is more pleasurable. There's no question about it.
And then Donald Trump says that he's warned Iran. I've left notification that if anything ever happens in Iran, the whole country is going to get blown up. Okay, well, Donald Trump is moving more military assets now in the Persian Gulf. That's what's taking place. So we had to move him from the Caribbean, moving more now towards the Persian Gulf. But you promised already that if the Ayatollah killed any protesters, that you would blow up all of Iran. They've killed thousands of protesters. Then you posted a message congratulating the Ayatollah for not hanging an additional 800 people, and you believe the Ayatollah should be applauded for that. And so now you're back to saying we're going to blow up all of Iran. You're going to blow everything up. That's the game plan right now. And do we all realize how destabilized the Middle East is now too? I know there's so much going on that it's hard to pay attention to all of it, but that's why we'll laser focus on this stuff. Like Donald Trump propping up the Syrian dictator, the former leader of Al-Qaeda, al-Jilani, who now goes by al-Shara, and the Syrian forces have basically destroyed the Syrian Democratic Forces, the SDF, and the Kurdish semi-autonomous area in northern Syria, who were our allies against ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Anyway, but here's what Donald Trump says on Iran. Here, play this clip.
But what is your response to Iran's leadership in the regime continuing to taunt you, threaten you, especially given over the weekend you said it's time for new leadership in Iran?
Well, they shouldn't be doing it, but I've left notification. Anything ever happens, we're going to blow the whole country is going to get blown up. So we've, originally Biden should have said something, when they made a statement. We always said, why isn't Biden saying anything? Because he didn't. But a president has to defend a president.
A few other things I want to point out as well. Court filings yesterday that we need to pay attention to. You had Donald Trump filing in federal court to block special counsel Jack Smith from talking about the volume 2, which is the report on Mar-a-Lago. So Donald Trump wanted to block anything that special counsel Jack Smith can talk about Mar-a-Lago. I just want you to think about that, right? So Donald Trump and all of his MAGAs want to attack Jack Smith, but prevent him when he testifies in front of Congress from talking about Donald Trump stealing classified documents or releasing volume 2 of the report before he speaks to Congress. It's ridiculous. I don't care, again, if you're a Democrat, Republican, independent, why is Donald Trump and the Republicans, if they're so confident that Donald Trump did nothing wrong, why do they want to block Jack Smith from testifying about volume 2, which is Trump's Mar-a-Lago document case, Donald Trump taking the documents? Why wouldn't they want him to talk about that? So there's that. Then there was another case where the United States, where the DOJ filed a notice of correction to the record in a case where the Social Security Administration was sued about whether or not DOGE was taking your Social Security information and selling it. So the Trump administration, in their notice of correction, conceded to the court that the DOGE teams may have taken your Social Security and basically sold it to companies that were involved in election interference and trying to overthrow the results of elections. So DOGE took your socials and they've just filed a notice of correction with the federal court. Yeah, just normal. Notice of correction, everybody. So Donald Trump arrives in Davos today. He arrives there and he is detested. No one wants him there. Europe is standing up. The world is standing up to him. We know he's going to give just a disastrous speech. We'll cover it, of course, here. As he creates his own peace board with Russia, Belarus, Lukashenko, Putin. And I'm not going to show the clip, but Donald Trump yesterday was like, yeah, we're creating this peace board because we don't like the UN and we don't like NATO anymore. So the peace board is going to replace it. What timeline are we in, folks? What timeline while Donald Trump has his Qatari bank accounts, props up authoritarians like Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela, takes money that he sells oil to his right-wing oligarch friends. This is just known fact. And then takes the money and moves it to a Qatari bank account that he controls. So it doesn't even go to Congress. It goes to Qatar. It goes to a Qatari bank account. You join the Board of Peace. You give Trump $1 billion to Qatari bank accounts. What are we doing here? And then his staff jokes when the Air Force One malfunctions on its way to Davos, Switzerland. Oh, we should have used the Qatari jet. It's going to be an interesting day today. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.